What's going on, guys? Mason, aka Maxer, bringing you guys some more Smite content. And today, you're going to be watching some Fenrir Jungle, eating some conquest, and I hope you guys enjoy it. In this gameplay, I drop a mad amount of kills. I do a lot of helpful things for the team. I pretty much show you a lot about how to be a jungler and about how to really just play it well. And honestly, it's a very good game. The start's a little bit slow, but after the start, after a couple deaths here and there, I start picking up a lot. So I hope you guys enjoy watching that, and I hope you guys learn a little bit from the build, how I play, and it's the overall communication with the team. But in today's video, I want to talk about the Dragon's Fortune 5.9 update to Smite. Honestly, it's pretty controversial. I mean, there's a lot of good things I feel like they're adding, and there's a lot of bad things I also feel like they're adding. So let's just start at the top. We have new god skins, obviously, and the god skins are looking very nice. We have Dragon's Light Sobek, we have Dragon's Queen Scylla, then we have Electric Dream Nox, then we have Soothsayer the Morgan, which will be an exclusive skin. All these are going to be exclusive skins, by the way, which means you're probably going to have to spend probably a few bucks to get the skins. And then the mastery skin for Sobek. So, I mean, the skins are pretty whatever. There's some more all-platform bugs issues that they're fixing. There's some miscellaneous stuff for new cosmetics, awesome chests, godlike chests, you know, whatever, blah 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 blah, shit that doesn't matter. Now let's get to the items. The items with this patch are they're pretty crazy. So, starting off our list, we have item balancing with Evolved Soul Eater. So pretty much what they are saying in this quote that they give us is that they think that the sustain that's given off of using abilities isn't good enough. So what they're doing is increasing the ability lifesteal from 10% to 15%. So this is gonna give physical damaging gods a lot better sustain when they use abilities, which it's a nice buff. So this is gonna be from 10% to 15%. I mean, it's really not a huge increase. I feel like, I mean, it's pretty big, but honestly, I don't really see it affecting the gameplay that much. It might allow certain hunters that depend on their abilities to survive a lot longer, but in all reality, you have to get that evolved. So that means you have to get all the stacks for it. So I think that's a good change. That's a good change. Heart of the Urchin. This is pretty much stating that they're gonna require it. They're gonna require this protection item to have less stacks, but can get the same amount of stacks as it would fully stacked. And which, I mean, it's good because they said that it's primarily used in the solo lane, but I feel like it's also used for certain guardians as well, which honestly it's a good change, I guess, because I mean some guardians kind of need the tank, and some solo laners, I mean, a lot of soloers do build this and they do kind of dependent on it. And I guess it does take a long time to stack if you're not in the right scenario. So overall, I feel like that's a decent change. We have decreased stacks required to evolve from 10 to 7, increased protections per stack from 2 to 3, decreased amount of time to generate a shield from 2 to 3. Not too bad. Then we get to Stone of Binding. I want to read the quote. In 5.9, we're focusing on targeting adjustments towards support item options. Sovereignty and Heartward Amulet have become almost mandatory for supports this season, pushing out other more offensive options. Stone of Binding is a strong offensive choice that saw early experimentation, but has fallen out of favor as the meta has developed. We're increasing the reward for triggering it, while cleaning up its visual representation to be less visually distracting. So pretty much what they're doing is just making the passive better, the penetration buff from 10 to 15. And instead of it being a pulsating aura, it's just going to be, instead of a pulsing aura, it's going to be a persistent aura. I mean, I don't really know if that's going to be a big deal. I mean, a lot of people already build Stone of Binding, I notice. I kind of don't get that, because, I mean, a lot of people do build Sovereignty, and a lot of people do build Heartward. But I feel like Stone of Binding is built a lot as well. So them upgrading it is kind of whatever. But I mean, the penetration buff is gonna be nice. It's gonna make supports gonna be a lot better, I guess. So like if you get like a Kumba or a Jingting or somebody that wants to put this on there, I feel like that could be very effective. So then here, let's go to Talisman of Energy. It's pretty much the same thing. They're just going to be upgrading the effects on this. So it's going to be increased radius of the buff effect from 55 to 70. The radius is going to be a lot longer. Increased buff duration from 6 seconds to 8 seconds. And increased max stacks from 5 to 6. It's a good buff, I think. I mean, a lot of people don't really build it. I know, especially I don't. And same with, I mean, yeah, I think it's okay. I think so far all of the offensive items and defensive items that I have stated so far are it's gonna be very good changes. I think that these buffs towards the 3 protection items honestly will give warriors and supports a lot better chance to sustain better in lane and provide a little bit more presence. Because I feel like when I play a hunter, I'm able to just shred through certain guardians, and I feel that will limit that. So I think it's gonna give Guardians a little bit more presence, which I think that's a good buff. I think that's a good change. Shogun's Kasari, next item. I'm gonna read the quote. Shogun's Kasari is a prime example of an offensive aura item that has been overshadowed recently by more defensive options. It enables compositions that benefit heavily from bonus attack speed for killing objectives or the enemy team. While it is powerful in that regard, the amount of survivability lost for building this over a hardware amulet was too severe, making it really difficult to build even with the perfect team comp. We're increasing the magical protection to help it better compete with other defensive choices. I mean, I feel like that is kind of whatever, really. Increased magical protections from 50 to 60. I feel like it's good. It's overall a good buff. I feel that. Because I mean, no one really builds Shoguns, so I mean it's a good buff. It's a good buff because it's buffing the Guardians and it's buffing the Warriors as well, which I like. Sovereignty is gonna get a decrease from the physical protection from 50 to 45, which is nice. I mean that's not a huge nerf, and I think it's good. It's a light nerf and it's good. It's good. And then we're going to see the same thing with the Heartward Amulet, because they want to see a variety in the builds. They're going to decrease the magical protection provided by the aura from 20 to 15. By no means are those nerfs going to take away the usefulness of either of those items. I think it's just a light balancing, which it's fine. Now, this is where it's kind of, I don't understand. This is kind of where Hi-Rez is losing me here. With the Obsidian Shard and Titan's Bane. I'm going to read the quote with both of these, okay? This is where I don't, okay. Titan's Bane and Obsidian Shard saw a very high amount of use rate in the recent land, regardless of the enemy comp being too tank heavy or not. This points to the items being too effective in all situations. Too effective in all situations. Titan's Bane and Obsidian Shard are having their base penetration reduced, while still scaling to the same 40% at a higher armor threshold. This should move these items further in the distraction of tank counters rather than all-purpose penetration choices. I personally never, ever build either of those on any of my builds, because all they are is just pen items. And you know, they just have certain scaling to them, but it's, I don't know. That's just a weird thing to, like, the only reason when they got rid of it was just because it was used a lot in land. But I mean, what other options are there? You only get 4 options for both pin items for physical and defensive. I mean, you're not really looking at a lot of options here. But pretty much what's happening to both is the decreased base protections from 20% to 15%. Increase protection threshold for max penetration of 40% from 175 to 200 physical protection. And then Obsidian Shard is pretty much the same exact thing, except its threshold for max penetration 40% from 125 to 200 magical protections. Those aren't horrible, but again, it's kind of like, I don't understand why. It's kind of one of those things. It's almost kind of pointless if you ask me. Now this This next part pisses me off. I don't actually understand this. I don't know what they're thinking. High res, I don't know what you're actually thinking with this. There's no reason for what I'm about to say. Okay. I'm gonna read you the quote that they give you for the Shoes of Focus and the Shoes of Magi. Okay. This is the most unnecessary thing that they're changing in this game. Magical boots are seeing power increases this patch. When looking at overall god performances, mages are slightly underperforming compared to the rest of the god pool. While mid as a role may be super impactful, we have seen multiple instances where other classes besides mages can succeed in that position. To help mages better compete against other classes for the mid lane role, we are increasing the base power of two types of shoes, comparing core to all mage players. Shoes of Focus is getting a slightly larger buff this patch than Shoes of the Magi, which was already the overwhelmingly most popular choice. The Shoes of Focus is seeing a increased magical power from 40 to 55. Shoes of the Magi is seeing an increase from 45 to 55. So you're telling me that both the boots, Shoes of Focus and Shoes of the Magi, are both going to have 55 power. That's what you're saying. So you're telling me when I build my boots, I'm going to have to decide between, do I want cooldown or do I want pen? And there's going to be no other difference. Then my question is, why would you never not buy Shoes of the Focus? Like, in my opinion, the reason why Shoes of Focus wasn't picked that often was because people wanted the early game with the Shoes of the Magi. Mages wanted an early game, this power spike, because that's what mages need. They need higher pen, and they also need the power boost. The only reason why was for the power boost. And honestly, having cooldowns that early is super impactful. But the reason why no one went for it was, like I said, because that's a 40 and to a 45. So obviously you're going to want to go for the Shoes of the Magi because the magical power is higher than the Shoes of Focus. So if you're going to make both of them 55, then you're going to see a huge shift in Shoes of Focus every time. Because people could just build pen later in the build. There's really no reason not to go Shoes of Focus now, because the only reason why you never would is because you wanted the early game damage. But now that the early game damage is going to be the same regardless, there is no reason not to go Shoes of Focus, in my opinion. I mean, yeah, you could go Shoes of the Magi for like a little bit of pen item, like a little bit of pen, but the only time you do that is if you're a mage that's jungling or going up against in the solo lane a warrior that's building early game defense. Any other time, there should be no reason not to build Shoes of Focus. Because personally with my Poseidon build, I would never build those boots because I wanted the damage. And I would never build cooldown with Poseidon ever, just because that's how I play with them. I would never build Cronus Pendant or anything. But now I don't see a reason not to build Shoes of Focus for the extra cooldowns, and then just build my pen later in my build, like I usually do. I don't know why they would make Shoes of Focus and Shoes of the Magi have the same magical power. Because then the Shoes of the Magi lose their entire, then they just lose everything. There's no reason to pick Shoes of the Magi anymore. Like I said, like the only reason why you would is like if you get a very specific, I can't even say the word. Holy fuck me. Very specific scenario. So there's really no reason to get it anymore. But it's whatever. So
it's just not worth it.
They were doing okay up until those last three items, but now to the god balancing. Opwash. Opwash's initial damage with his Corp Explosion is going to get a huge buff, and then decrease the damage during the explosion, I'm assuming. Because it's going to, so the scaling is going to increase from Increase from initial damage from being 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 to 90, 100, 110, 120, 130. That's a pretty big increase in damage. That's a 30 power overall increase. That's a huge initial hit. So you're telling me from the start, instead of hitting for 60, I'm going to hit somebody for 100 pretty much right off the bat. And now those are going to be on cooldown all the time when I build my Shoes of Focus, is what you're telling me. And the overall damage after exploiting them is going to decrease a little bit, not by it's literally decreasing by 5. That's not a nerf at all. That's a buff if I've ever seen it. Oh my god, Sharabog, what are we doing here? So, they're going to increase the auto, they're going to improve the audio on its basic attacks to better match visuals. The crystallized curses. Decreased mana cost by 10 pretty much. And increase the damage by 20. High res, what are we doing? Vicious Barrage is decreasing the mana cost once again. High res. Why are we making this god overpowered? This god was fine. I felt like he was balanced. Now you're just killing me, Smalls. Like, what the hell is happening? And they're doing some minor buffs to his Enter the Darkness. The Living Nightmare is removed from the post-fire time from the ability from 0.2 to 0. Decrease minimum airtime from 1.2 to 1. Decrease maximum airtime from 3 to 2.6. Fixed an issue with traveling to a shadow could result in the player colliding with a wall. This resulted them flying into the air and being unable to move. That's fine. That's fine. But why are we buffing his huge burst potential and decreasing the amount of mana it costs? What are we doing? That's insane. Why are we making him... He's going to be worth a ban now. Whenever he's able to be played in rank, he's going to be worth a ban. Because that's going to be hard to deal with. That's a lot of power. And now that he can just consistently just keep throwing it like that, that's going to be rough. Paired with the Soul Eater evolved now, having an extra 5% lifesteal, that's going to be rough. That's they weren't thinking. Colon. They're pretty much giving him a pretty decent nerf. I mean, the Berserk is going to get a pretty decent nerf with his passive, the passive power bonus, and Berserk from 5+2 per level to just 0+2 per level. So you're going to get 40 power versus 45. So it's not a huge deal. I feel like it's going to affect him hard during the early game. This is going to pretty much ruin... I think Colon's early game is going to be definitely minimized from this, but I think overall that's a good nerf. That's a really good nerf. And he should not be as strong as he is early game, and I agree with that. I agree with that nerf. Erling Shin is going to be seeing a decreased mana cost from 60, 65, 70, 75, and 80 to just a 60 at all ranks for his spot weakness, which is fine. And they're just going to increase the taunt duration in his ult from its scaling after every level to just a 1.2 at all ranks, which is the max after you max it out, which that's fine too. I feel like Erling Shin at this rate needs to be able to compete with the other warriors, and I agree with it. I agree with that. That's fine. In my opinion, I don't see a problem with him getting the buff because Erling Shin was super strong in Season 4, but he's not that strong anymore, so I like that. I like the buff. Hachiman is just going to be seeing pretty much his Heavenly Banner is going to be doing 10 damage less, which is not a huge nerf, but it's good. It's good. It's not going to completely destroy Hachiman by any means. He's going to be just as viable. You're just not going to see as much damage in the early games as you normally would, which is fine. That's okay. That's going to be more prevalent early game, but late game he still should be very good. His ult is the slow is going to decrease by 5% overall, which is really nice too. I feel like that's a good nerf. As long as you keep the damage, that's fine. The slowing ability on it is okay. Nerfing that's fine. Overall, Hachiman, that's a good nerf for Hachiman. I think Hachiman is still going to be very strong. It's just, as if you're going to play him, you're going to have to play him back a little bit more during the early games, but you should be fine just like normal during mid and late game. Neith is going to be seeing attack speed increase from 0.95 to 1, which I don't really, I mean, it's kind of whatever. Nox is just going to be seeing some new FXs, which is fine. Scotty is going to be seeing another attack speed increase, which I don't really agree with the Scotty. The Neath is whatever. Actually, I don't really agree with either now that I think about it, because they both have ways of just rooting you in place, and to have their attack speed that much higher is just going to make them so strong. I don't know if I agree with that, but I mean it's going to have to we're just going to have to wait. We're going to have to wait and see how that affects them. I mean, to me, it doesn't seem like it's going to be a huge deal, but I feel that if they're able to get maybe 1 or even 2 extra autos off due to that's going to kill. That's going to hurt heavily in the carry lane. That's going to suck. I don't know. Neath probably still won't be really worth a ban, but maybe Scotty will now be, because she already has a lot of ways of stunning you. And same with Neath. I mean, I don't know. They're both going to be pretty strong after that, but it's not a huge anything. It's not a big deal. Shibalanke is going to be seeing a nerf. Shibalanke now needs to deal 1,500 damage to gain 1 stack of the Dead of Night, up from 1,000. They're going to have to do 500 extra damage to get a stack of Dead of Night, which that's a pretty big deal. Poison Darts is good. This is good. They're just fixing the fact that if someone stuns him when he's trying to use the Poison Darts, if the Poison Darts doesn't go off, it won't consume the mana, which is good. That's fine. I don't know what they're doing with Zeus, but they're going to decrease the mana cost from his detonated charge from 90 to 60, and his Lightning Storm is going to see a 20 power increase. Overall, it's not going to make Zeus that strong in Conquest anyway, even though he has even more power and more burst now, and he can do it more often. He's still not going to be that strong during Conquest. You might see him, he might be very strong maybe in Joust or Clash, but come Conquest, it's not going to be prevalent because of how slow Zeus is. It's not even gonna be that big of a deal. Now Zhong Kui, holy shit, is he getting some crazy changes. I'm gonna go ahead and read his bio because this is insane. Zhong Kui is getting some changes targeted at reducing the frustrating interactions he can sometimes have. Zhong Kui needs stacks to be effective, but his teammates can quickly remove his abilities to gain stacks. This is especially prevalent in non-conquest modes. Zhong Kui will now steal the souls of anything that dies around him, freeing up his ability to use his 1+2 combo as he wants. The amount of stacks, protections gained, and amount lost from using the ultimate and dying have been changed to fit this new stacking method. Finally, Books the Demon is seeing a stun increase. Early on, 0.5 seconds offered very little opportunity to make plays while triggering his opponent's diminishing returns. Holy shit! He's gonna be so overpowered. Like, what are we doing? The Demon Bag increased stacks from 20 to 40. Decreased protections per stack from 2 to 1. Zhong Kui now gains stacks when witnessing any death. He no longer gains stacks from consuming marks with exorcism. Decreased stacks lost on death and after using recall demons from 100% to 50%. The Book of Demons, his stun duration increases from 0.5, 0.6, 0.7, 0.8, 0.9 to 0.7, 0.8, 0.9, 1, 1.1. So he's seeing a 0.2 seconds increase in his stun, and his passive is going to be over fucking powered. Zhong Kui needs to be banned. Who else needs to be banned? Literally just him. Oh no, I lied. Sharon Ball needs to be banned. Oposh is gonna need banned. And honestly, that's crazy. Well, that's the end of the patch notes, but honestly, we're going to see a huge increase and we're gonna see way too many Shoes of Focus. They fucked that up, because now there's no reason to get Shoes of the Magi. Opwash is gonna see a huge power spike in the early game, even though he's already one of the strongest early game mages in the game. Sharenbog is gonna be way too fucking strong now, and he's gonna be able to dish out way too much damage, and he's gonna have to get banned. Kakolin, it's gonna be a good nerf. I mean, his late game and his mid game will still be the same. It's just his early game is gonna be a little bit less prevalent, which is gonna be nice. Erlingshing is gonna see a couple buffs, which is nice. Hutchman is seeing some slight nerfs, which I think that's a good overall. Neith and Scotty are both going to be seeing some attack speed increases, which is fine. And Zonkui is getting steroids. Dragon's Fortune 5.9. I don't know what you think you're doing, but it's not going to be good. I think overall, with the new patch, you're going to see a lot more mages being played. I don't know. You're going to see a lot more Shoes of the Focus than you're going to see Shoes of Magi at any point in time. Shoes of Magi is going to be pretty much pointless. There's going to be really no reason to get it unless you're in a very specific scenario that's going to require you to get penetration early game. But in my opinion, I'm not going to ever pick that boots again, because now the power difference is the same. So, what do I think about these patch notes? These patch notes it's very interesting. I like what they're doing with increasing certain defensive items. I like that. I also like how they're nerfing a couple of them. I like some of the nerfs that they're doing with the gods and goddesses, but I absolutely hate what they're doing with Sharenbog and what they're doing with Zonkui and what they're doing with Opwash. I just don't agree with that at all. Zeus is okay because it's not really going to matter too much come time and Conquest. It's only going to matter if you play him in Joust, which is whatever. But I don't know. This recent update it's going to be rough. It's going to be a rough time. I love playing mages, so I'm not going to have too many problems with this new update. But it's going to be rough to see. It's going to be very rough to deal with. It's going to be a long time, and I already know a few of my friends are quitting because of this update and this patch, so we're just going to have to wait and see how it turns out. Hopefully it won't be too bad. I mean, I don't know. It's going to be rough. I think personally what they're doing, it's half good, half bad. I feel like they could have done a lot better, though. I feel like they could have let the few things alone and not increase certain things the way they did. But, I mean, overall, I think they did. I think this is pretty good patch notes. The skins are okay. The buffs are okay. The items that they're changing are very good. I like the item changes a lot, except the boost. The boost and Titan's Bane and Obsidian Shard just piss me off. I don't know why they're doing that, but it's okay. Some increases with the gods are okay, but the Opwash one is not. Neither is Sharenbog, and neither is Zonkui. I think Zonkui needed a buff, but I don't think he needed a buff in the way that he's getting it. So it's going to be interesting to see. You're definitely going to see Zonkui being banned in a lot more now. You're going to see Sharenbog being banned whenever he's able to be played in rank for PS4. And you may or may not see Hachiman not be banned as much anymore, which will be fine. Also, you're gonna see a lot of certain guardians being banned a lot more often because of the new items increases. So it's gonna be interesting to watch. It really is gonna be nice to watch. So I hope you guys enjoyed some of this review. I'm going to be doing that for every single patch notes from now on. Whenever they come out, I'm going to start telling you guys how I feel about them, and just about what I feel like is right, what I feel like is wrong, and how I feel like it's going to affect the game. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope you guys also enjoyed the gameplay in the background. I'm going to let the rest of it play out, but I want you guys to know that I'm sorry for not posting that often. Just know that there will be more content. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. An absolutely wonderful day. I'll be seeing you guys tomorrow. Thank you guys so much. I love you all, and peace out.
my way.
Tower is under attack.
Be careful! Enemy missing middle!
Over! Mighty as the howling wind. Thanks. Curses! Attack left lane.
I'm
On
on
my
it!
way.
Enemy missing middle!
Well done. There is no stoppage.
Fuck.
I give you
We're getting piece of shit.
An enemy has been
Nice.
slain.
Enemy missing middle! Falling back!
Your team has destroyed the little enemy Phoenix. Be right back.
No worries.
On my way. This is my territory.
Enemies in right lane! Enemy missing right!
On my way. Thanks. No problem.
Help! Middle lane!
On my way. On my way. Bye. Attack middle lane. Oops. Shall bring the honor out. Strength of 1,000 wars.
It's a trap! Be careful!
This is my territory. Enemy missing. Retreat.
Yes! Be right back! Be careful! Attack fire giant!
Yes.
On my way!
attack.
I'll defend left flank.
You fought well.
You
fought well. The exceptional individual. You are a truly exceptional individual.
Why are they tipping? I didn't really do that much. Oh my god, why is everyone tipping me, bro? I haven't done anything.